Welcome to ASAP New York Certification Board, and welcome to our Trainer Registry and Training Approval Program. I'm Ruth Riddick. I'm Community Outreach here at ASAP, and I'm the administrator of this program. I welcome your follow-up questions to my email address here on the screen. And for further details, please do take a look at our dedicated webpage. There's the URL. This Trainer Registry and Training Approval Program was introduced in July 2020. We're a certification board. We're all about certification. Certification is about confirming role competence. So let's start by taking a look at roles, role development, role competencies, role training, and role certification. Roles, professional roles in any field begin with a role delineation study or a job task analysis. This is a formal process which identifies the characteristics and competencies of any professional role. This job task analysis or role definition study will be undertaken by certification developers, such as IC&RC, the International Certification and Reciprocity Consortium, who developed the original peer recovery certification, which we know in New York State as CERPA, the Certified Recovery Peer Advocate. ASAP is also involved in developing roles. The CARC, the Certified Addiction Recovery Coach, the credential that I hold, is an ASAP product, as is the forthcoming Veteran Supported Recovery Specialty Certification. Once this role definition and competencies are in place, it's time to take a look at the training. How might an individual become competent in this role and good to serve in it? Training vendors, organizations such as the Connecticut Community for Addiction Recovery, or here in New York State, our Wellness Collective, develop training curricula which are focused on developing role knowledge, skills, and abilities in students. As a trainer, you will contract with one of these training vendors to become a trainer delivering their products. You'll also want to ensure that training curricula that you deliver are approved by the certifying board. That is, that the certifying board will accept your training completion certificates from students of yours who become certification candidates. That role certification, the job that ASAP-NYCB does, is offered by third-party certification boards. The board determines standards for demonstrating role competence. These standards become the basis of the candidate's application form. And standards will include requirements for approved role training, role experience, and competence testing by the role developers. The role developers understand the competencies best. They are best placed to develop the competence-based exam for each of the roles. So that's an overview of the three players involved in any professional role. The originators of the role, organizations like IC&RC and ASAP, trainers of the role, people like you, and certifiers of the role, which is of course the specific job of the New York Certification Board. As trainers then, you're looking at having two relationships simultaneously if you're offering training that's going to lead to role certification. As a trainer, you're going to have a contract with and authorization from a training vendor such as CCAR or the McShin Foundation, or here in New York State, our Wellness Collective. That's a relationship, business relationship you have with these training vendors, and you come to have their authorization to deliver their training products. Simultaneously, you're also going to have a relationship with the board that offers role certifications in New York State in peer recovery. That's going to be ASAP New York Certification Board. Your candidates, your students who become our candidates, will need to convince us that you have indeed trained them in the required role competencies. And for that reason, we ask you to ensure that those training products that you contract to deliver are indeed also approved by the New York Certification Board as delivering the competency that we will be looking for in our candidates. So two relationships simultaneously with the training vendors and with the certifying board. So what are these competencies, and where do I find information about them? These role competencies are gathered as an inventory of knowledge, skills, and abilities in which certification candidates will demonstrate competence. These competencies are posted to our website so that you can see them, your students can see them, our candidates can see them, and the public at large can see them. In other words, that it's very transparent what these roles are and what these certifications mean in terms of demonstrating role competency. So your training content, whatever product you're delivering, will need to show that it delivers these line items for both CARC and SERPA. And the training approval issued by the New York Certification Board depends on showing that the training product you're delivering delivers these competencies in our candidates. What's the role of the certification board? We need candidates to demonstrate that they have indeed completed appropriate and approved role training, that they have completed whatever role experience is required by the certification, and that they have successfully tested in the role. That is to say that they've taken a competence-based exam and they've passed it. You see down in the corner a selection of thumbnail covers of the different certifications offered by the New York Certification Board. Those application forms are available on our website. So these are the three pieces in some detail then. The role definition and competencies laid out by organizations such as IC and RC for SERPA and ASAP for CARC. Role training, which is your job as trainers. Curriculum development, which is by training vendors with whom you have a direct business relationship. And the role certification piece, where your graduates, your students, our candidates demonstrate their proficiency, demonstrate their competence in each of these requirements: role training, role experience, and role testing. All three together make for a successful certification candidate. So we've spoken about role training being approved. Let's take a look at the process for that at the New York Certification Board. A two-step process where we ask you as a trainer to become a member of the trainer registry. There are several and many member benefits to becoming involved in the trainer registry, including free training approval process. Let's talk briefly about the trainer registry. The application form is available on our website, and it asks you to demonstrate that you are a competent trainer with a minimum level of experience in the role of trainer in delivering peer recovery training. And we ask you for a reference letter from someone who knows your work as a trainer to support your application for membership of the Trainer Registry. Members of Training Registry have, as I said, the benefit of submitting their trainings for approval free of charge as a member benefit. For acceptance in support of certification, your training completion certificates issued to each of your students must carry our training approval badge. It's a badge going to be not unlike what you see in that middle button there under training approval, a digital product, which when we approve your training, you will apply to your training completion certificates that you issue to your students. This process of applying for the Trainer Registry and submitting your training for approval is discussed in detail on the dedicated website, which you find at the URL given on this slide. When your candidates complete your training, they have the approved role-appropriate training to begin the process of applying to us for professional certification in one or more of the certified roles given in the right-hand button there. So that's basically the three-step process summarized at the bottom of this slide. Your first step is to join the ASAP-NYCB Trainer Registry. The application is available on the dedicated web page. Your second step is to get the required free training approval for whatever trainings you're delivering. And the third step is to add the approval badge, the digital product that we issue to you on approval, to your training completion certificates, at which point your graduates are certification ready. So I've talked about the dedicated website, and here it is. As you'll see, the New York Certification Board lives at asapnys.org. And on that top navigation bar, you see the dedicated website, a web page highlighted as trainers. And there you'll find, as you scroll down the page, you'll find full details of this program and links to the application for Trainer Registry membership, and later down on the page, the submission form for your trainings for approval. And of course, at any time, I'm available to walk you through the process or to offer you whatever technical assistance would be helpful as you navigate this program. It's always a bit of a challenge the first time that we follow any of these procedures, but you'll find that you become a quick study, and that these procedures will flow naturally for you moving forward as you add additional approved training products to your portfolio. The final step, as we know, in the certification approval process is, of course, the competence-based exam. And ASAP also offers an exam prep, a free exam prep now on Zoom in collaboration with Recovery Coach University and Recovery Fitness. We have adapted our long-standing original workshop preparing your students to take the competence-based exam currently for SERPA. You'll find details of latest dates and how to apply to become part of the workshop on our website. And that's a quick walkthrough the Trainer Registry and Training Approval Program at ASAP New York Certification Board. I'm sure it seems, listening to me, that there's a lot of moving parts here and a lot of steps to be absorbed. Yes, anything to do with certification is technical. Yes, there's a lot of pedantic steps to be walked through with anything to do with certification. But the value to you as trainers and the value to your students is immense. And we're here to help you every step of the way navigate to a successful outcome for yourself as a trainer with a training practice, and for your students looking to become certified in these peer recovery roles, looking to work delivering peer recovery services in the community. Please do follow up with me if you have any further questions. My email address appears on the screen. And do keep coming back to the program itself on the dedicated web page, the URL given at the bottom of the screen. I wish you every success moving forward, and I'm looking forward to working with you. Thank you.